Hey everybody, Angie here, and welcome to Love Inspiry. This week I'm going to be talking to you about the 4C's, and these 4C's are what I think are very important to have in your relationship, to have a healthy relationship, to have an effective relationship. And the first C is compromise. Compromise is a word of maturity, it's a word of responsibility, and it's a word of accountability. And it's very important that we apply compromise in our relationships. So what is compromise? Compromise is the willingness to come to an agreement. And that is a definition of the word compromise, but we have to add in another portion, and that's the give and take portion. That portion is realizing in your compromise that one, you're not always going to be right, and number two, you're not always going to get what you want. And it's important that we realize that in compromise, we're doing what we're doing for the betterment of our relationship. We're doing it for the betterment of the household. It's not a competition, it's a team, and we're wanting to work together and make it to the end till death do us part. Those are the vows that we took in front of God, in front of our family, in front of our friends. And there will be big and small compromises that you have to make, ranging from what daycare you put your children in, to how much money you save a month, to something as big as moving out of state to take another job. And that's a huge one, because you're basically uprooting your family. But you have to compromise on things like that. Not saying that that will specifically come up in your relationship, but that's just a few examples of what compromise, things that you will have to compromise on. And so let's talk about the why. Why do I need compromise? Challenges, I don't care what people tell you, how much they put on, challenges will be faced in your relationship. Remember, you are two different individuals with two different opinions, two different ways of thinking. You're not the same. You can be soulmates, you can be life partners, you can be whatever you want to be, but you're not the same. You think differently, and that's the killer that people don't realize. Like, you get into a relationship and you think that I'm supposed to think like my partner. No, you're two different individuals coming together as one. And with that being said, that's why compromise is so important. And the unwillingness to have compromise in your relationship is a disruption of peace in your relationship. And that's the important thing that we need to have in our relationship, is peace. Who wants to be in a relationship where there's a bunch of turmoil in it, that there's a bunch of frustration and anger in it all the time? I know I certainly don't. When you don't have peace in your relationship, the cost is confusion, the cost is turmoil, and we don't want any of that in your relationship. I certainly don't want it in mine, and I don't want it in yours, because I want everybody to have healthy and happy, effective relationships. And I'm very big on the foundation, getting to know a person, getting to understand a person. And it's important that as a single person, when you're dating, you look at how somebody manages adversity. You look at how they react to your opinions and things like that, because that will come up. That has a lot to do with compromise. If somebody doesn't value your opinion, they're not going to be willing to compromise and come together with you, and therefore you don't or shouldn't want them in your life. So I'm going to end now. Robert Stevenson, a good quote, he said, "Compromise is the best and cheapest lawyer." You know what I mean by that.